I didn't start eating this because I believed in a miracle. In fact, I started eating it for a reason that had nothing to do with my legs. A few years back, a friend of mine, a brilliant but stubborn physician, was recovering from a nasty fall. He was in his late 70s, a man who had built his life on intellectual rigor, and suddenly his body was betraying him. His mind was sharp, but his legs, they just wouldn't listen. He couldn't rise from a chair without using his arms to push. The stairs in his home looked like a mountain range. He was doing everything right. He was doing his physical therapy exercises. He was taking his vitamin D. But his recovery had plateaued. He was stuck in that frustrating space where you're putting in the effort but not seeing the return. One evening, I brought over some dinner. It was a simple thing, really. Just a classic, old-world dish based on a specific ingredient. He ate it, skeptical but polite. The next morning, my phone rang at 7 a.m. It was him. His voice, usually measured and calm, was different. He said, "I got out of the chair, without using my hands. What was in that food?" That question is what we are going to answer today. It wasn't magic. It wasn't a potion. It was a single, whole food that triggered a specific cascade of events inside his body that his muscles had been starving for. We are going to look at the science of why a specific food, when consumed, can begin to restore communication between your nerves and your muscles in a matter of hours, not weeks. And by the end of this, you are going to understand why strength isn't just about the gym. It's about a conversation. Now, if you have been watching health videos for a while, you have probably heard 100 times that you need protein to build muscle. And that is true. You do. But if you are over 60 and you are struggling to stand up, to climb stairs, or to simply feel steady on your feet, just eating more chicken breast or drinking another protein shake might not be the answer you are looking for. In fact, for many people, it completely misses the point. The narrative we usually hear is that we lose muscle mass because we don't eat enough building blocks. But the deeper story, the one that explains why my friend felt stronger in just 12 hours, is about something far more fundamental. It is about a process called neuromuscular coupling, and it relies on a specific molecule that your body stops producing efficiently as you age. To understand this, we have to leave the gym for a moment and travel inside your body to the microscopic junction where your nerves meet your muscles. Think of your muscles as a complex machine. They are full of fuel, they are full of potential energy. But a machine, no matter how well oiled, does nothing until someone flips the switch. That switch is your nerve. Every time you want to stand up, your brain sends an electrical signal down your spinal cord, through a nerve, until it reaches a special intersection called the neuromuscular junction. At this intersection, the nerve does not actually touch the muscle. There is a tiny gap, a space called the synaptic cleft. For the muscle to activate, the nerve has to shout across this gap. It shouts by releasing a chemical messenger. That messenger is called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine floats across the gap, lands on receptors on the muscle fiber, and essentially unlocks the door. It allows ions to rush in, creating an electrical current that makes the muscle contract. This is the fundamental spark of movement. Without enough acetylcholine, or without sensitive receptors to catch it, the nerve's message gets lost in the void. The muscle sits there, full of potential, but silent. It is waiting for a signal that never arrives. This is what we call poor innervation. And this is the hidden crisis for many people over 60. It is not just that the muscle is wasting away. It is that the brain and the muscle have stopped talking to each other. So, if acetylcholine is the messenger, the food we are talking about today is the thing that ensures the messenger has a strong voice. It provides the raw material to make more acetylcholine, and it also helps protect the receptors that are listening for that message. The food I gave my friend was beef liver. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Liver? Really? We have been told for decades to be wary of organ meats. But if we look at the science of human physiology, if we look at traditional diets across every continent, liver was considered a sacred food. It was the first thing hunters would eat after a kill because they instinctively knew it gave them power. And modern science is only now catching up to explain why that instinct was so correct. Beef liver is the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, but within that dense package, there is one specific nutrient that acts as the master key for nerve-to-muscle communication. That nutrient is vitamin A, but not just any vitamin A. It is preformed vitamin A, or retinol. And retinol plays a direct, non-negotiable role in the health of your neuromuscular junctions. It helps maintain the integrity of the nerve sheath and supports the production of acetylcholine. Without adequate retinol, the signal begins to fade. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. The power of liver lies in the symphony of its nutrients, not just one soloist. So, Let us count down the ways this single food rebuilds your strength, working our way from the foundational benefits up to the number one secret that ties everything together. Let us begin with benefit number 10. Beef liver supports the health of your myelin sheath. Think of your nerves as electrical wires. If those wires have worn out, frayed insulation, the signal leaks out. It gets weak before it even reaches the muscle. The myelin sheath is that insulation, and it is made primarily of fats and specific proteins. Liver is rich in choline and inositol, two B vitamin-like compounds that are critical for maintaining the structural integrity of this sheath. When you eat liver, you are providing the raw materials to re-insulate your wiring, ensuring that the signal from your brain travels at full speed, without static, all the way down to your legs. Benefit number 9 is about reducing inflammation at the cellular level. Chronic low-grade inflammation is like a fog that disrupts communication everywhere in the body, including at the neuromuscular junction. When inflammation is high, the receptors on your muscle cells can become desensitized. They stop listening as carefully. Liver is one of the best sources of coenzyme Q10, which is a powerful antioxidant that works inside the mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, to reduce oxidative stress. By clearing out this inflammatory fog, CoQ10 helps keep the receptors on your muscle fibers sensitive and ready to receive the acetylcholine signal. It turns the volume back up on the nerve's command. Moving to benefit number 8, we have to talk about energy production. The process of making acetylcholine and firing a nerve signal requires an immense amount of cellular energy, or ATP. If your cells are low on energy, the whole system slows down. Liver is packed with B vitamins, specifically B2, B3, B6, and B12. These vitamins are the essential cofactors in the Krebs cycle, the biochemical engine that runs inside every one of your cells. They are the spark plugs. Without adequate B vitamins, your mitochondria sputter and fail to produce enough ATP. Eating liver floods your system with these spark plugs, ensuring your nerves and muscles have the energy currency they need to keep the conversation going, especially when you are asking your legs to do hard work like climbing stairs. Benefit number 7 focuses on the blood itself. You cannot have a conversation between nerve and muscle if the tissue is starved of oxygen. Hemoglobin, the protein in your red blood cells that carries oxygen, requires iron to function. And liver is the single richest source of heme iron, which is the form of iron your body absorbs most efficiently. This is not the synthetic iron you find in a cheap supplement that can cause constipation. This is the real thing. When you eat liver, you are directly supporting your body's ability to manufacture robust, oxygen-rich red blood cells. More oxygen delivered to the muscle tissue means less fatigue. It means the muscle can fire repeatedly without getting exhausted, giving you the stamina to walk further and stand longer. Benefit number 6 is about bone health, which might sound unrelated to leg strength, but it is deeply connected. You cannot have strong legs if the bones they are attached to are brittle. Your muscles pull on your bones, and that tension is what keeps bones dense. If your bones hurt or are weak, your brain actually inhibits muscle contraction to protect you from breaking something. It is a built-in safety mechanism. Liver is a significant source of vitamin K2 and zinc. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into your bones and teeth, keeping it out of your arteries where it does damage. Zinc is a structural component of bone tissue. By supporting bone density, liver allows your nervous system to trust your legs again, to let the muscles contract fully without that subconscious fear of fracture. Benefit number 5 takes us deeper into the hormonal connection. As we age, our hormone levels naturally decline, and this has a profound impact on strength. Testosterone and growth hormone are the anabolic drivers that signal your body to build and repair muscle tissue. But these hormones need cofactors to be synthesized properly. Liver is a rich source of zinc and vitamin D. Zinc is absolutely critical for the production of testosterone in the Leydig cells of the testes. Without sufficient zinc, the production line shuts down. Vitamin D, which liver provides in a small but bioavailable amount, is actually a steroid hormone precursor that influences gene expression related to muscle growth. By providing these raw materials, liver helps maintain a hormonal environment where muscle can thrive. Now, benefit number 4 is one of the most fascinating and often overlooked aspects of strength. We are talking about the gut-brain axis. You might wonder what your digestion has to do with your legs. The answer is everything. The vagus nerve is the superhighway of communication between your gut and your brain. If your gut lining is inflamed or compromised, a condition often called leaky gut, it sends distress signals up the vagus nerve. This puts the body into a state of sympathetic dominance, or fight or flight. In that state, the body prioritizes survival over repair and maintenance. It shuts down digestion and diverts resources away from muscle building. Liver is rich in vitamin A and zinc, which are the two most critical nutrients for repairing the gut lining and maintaining the tight junctions between intestinal cells. When you heal the gut, you calm the vagus nerve. You shift the body back into a parasympathetic rest and digest state, which is the only state where deep healing and muscle repair can occur. You are essentially telling your nervous system it is safe to be strong. Benefit number 3 is where we start to see the neuromuscular junction come into focus. This benefit is about acetylcholine production. We mentioned choline earlier for the myelin sheath, but choline has a second, more direct job. It is the direct precursor to acetylcholine itself. Your nerves need choline to synthesize that chemical messenger. Liver is arguably the best food source of choline on the planet, far surpassing eggs. When you consume liver, you are handing your nerves the bricks and mortar they need to build the signal. It is like giving a tired radio operator fresh batteries. Suddenly, the message gets through loud and clear. The gap between the nerve and the muscle shrinks, metaphorically speaking, because the signal is strong enough to bridge it easily. Benefit number 2 is about receptor sensitivity. This is the other side of the conversation. It is not enough to just make more acetylcholine. The muscle has to be able to hear it. This is where vitamin A, the retinol we mentioned earlier, becomes a star player. Vitamin A is involved in gene transcription that regulates the production and maintenance of nicotinic acetylcholine receptors on the muscle surface. Think of these receptors as tiny satellite dishes. Vitamin A helps keep those dishes clean, properly aligned, and sensitive to the signal. Without enough vitamin A, the number of receptors downregulates. The muscle goes deaf. By providing a rich, bioavailable source of retinol, liver ensures that the muscle is not just waiting for a signal, but actively listening for it. And now, we arrive at benefit number 1, the master regulator. The real secret that ties all of these benefits together into a single, powerful force. The number 1 benefit of eating beef liver for leg strength is that it provides a blueprint for cellular communication. It is not just about the individual nutrients, but about how they work together in a synergistic matrix that your body recognizes as whole food. The retinol, the choline, the B vitamins, the zinc, the CoQ10, the iron, they do not act in isolation. They act as a team. This team supports the mitochondria, the tiny organelles inside your muscle cells, to produce energy efficiently, and healthy mitochondria do something incredible. They send signals back up to the nucleus of the cell and even back up the nerve to the brain, saying, "We are ready, we are strong. Send more signals." This is the concept of mitochondrial retrograde signaling. When the mitochondria are happy and well-fed with the nutrients from liver, they communicate health and readiness. This feedback loop encourages the nerve to innervate the muscle more aggressively. It is a virtuous cycle. The food tells the muscle to tell the nerve that it is prepared to work. The nerve responds by firing more frequently, strengthening the connection, and recruiting more muscle fibers. This is why my friend felt stronger in 12 hours. It wasn't that he grew new muscle tissue overnight. Muscle protein synthesis takes days. What happened was that his nerves and muscles suddenly remembered how to talk to each other. The signal strength was turned up. The conversation resumed. He regained access to the strength that was already there, waiting to be unlocked. So, how do you actually do this? How do you bring this food into your life safely and effectively? First, source matters. You want to look for beef liver from grass-fed, pasture-raised cattle. The nutrient profile is superior, and the animal has been raised in a way that aligns with its natural biology, which results in a cleaner, purer product. You do not need to eat huge amounts. Liver is so potent that a small serving is enough. Aim for about 2 to 4 ounces once or twice a week. That is roughly the size of a deck of cards. You can cook it with onions and herbs, which is the classic preparation. Many people find the taste strong, so if you are new to it, you can blend a small amount into ground beef for meatballs or burgers. This masks the flavor while still giving you the benefits. You must be cautious with cooking. Do not overcook liver. Overcooking makes it tough and rubbery, and it can destroy some of the delicate B vitamins. Cook it gently until it is just barely pink inside. If you absolutely cannot stand the taste, there are high-quality desiccated liver supplements available. Look for brands that freeze-dry the liver to preserve the nutrients, and ensure they come from grass-fed sources. If you go the supplement route, follow the dosage on the bottle, which is usually around 3 to 6 capsules a day. Now, we have to have a critical conversation about safety. While liver is a superfood, it is not for everyone in unlimited quantities. Because liver is so rich in vitamin A, and because it stores certain minerals and vitamins, you must respect its potency. If you are pregnant, you need to be very cautious with liver intake. Excess preformed vitamin A can be toxic to a developing fetus. If you are pregnant or planning to become pregnant, consult with your healthcare provider before adding liver to your diet. Additionally, if you have a condition called hemochromatosis, which is a genetic disorder causing your body to store too much iron, you should absolutely avoid liver because of its high heme iron content. It could overload your system. For everyone else, listen to your body. If you start eating liver and you notice any unusual symptoms like headaches or joint pain, stop and evaluate. It could be that your body is adjusting, or it could be a sign that you are consuming too much too fast. Start with a smaller portion, just 1 ounce, and see how you feel. And as with any significant dietary change, especially if you are on medication or managing a chronic condition, have a conversation with your doctor. Tell them what you are doing. A good doctor will appreciate your proactive approach. So, here's my question for you today. It is a simple one, but it is powerful. Think about your legs right now. When you get up from your chair, do you feel a direct connection? Do you feel that instant spark of power? Or does it feel like there is a delay? I want you to try something. Tonight or tomorrow, prepare a small serving of liver in a way that feels right for you. Then, the next morning, as you get out of bed, just notice. Notice how the conversation feels. If this video has sparked a new curiosity in you, if you are ready to explore the deeper science of your own body, please consider subscribing. We dig into topics like this every week, pulling back the curtain on the physiology that keeps you vital. Because here is the final truth. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 is not a broken version of your 20-year-old body. It is a wise, experienced system that has simply changed its communication protocols. It is speaking a quieter language. Your job is not to shout over it with aggressive exercise or restrictive diets. Your job is to listen carefully and to provide the quiet, steady nutrients that allow it to speak clearly again. That gentle conversation, that reconnection between your nerves and your muscles, is the foundation of a life where you can stand tall, move freely, and feel deeply at home in your own skin. It is not about chasing youth. It is about restoring function. And sometimes, the most profound medicine comes not from a pharmacy, but from a simple, humble food that has been waiting for you all along.